Housing costs are climbing to record levels when now President Donald Trump's administration is considering declaring a national housing emergency. What does that mean for you and your family? Let's take a closer look. Welcome to GeorgeWashingtonNews.com. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the administration is weighing this emergency declaration as a way to tackle two challenges: housing prices that remain painfully high and a shortage of available homes. He noted that interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve could provide some relief, but the administration is also looking at ways to expand housing supply and lower costs. Among the ideas being discussed, standardizing local building and zoning codes. Traditionally, those decisions are left to states and local governments. Secretary Bessent explained, quote, "We're trying to figure out what we can do, and we don't want to step into the business of states, counties, and municipal governments." Another major factor is construction costs. Lumber and drywall are central to home building, but tariffs have driven prices upward. Lumber costs are nearly 6% higher than a year ago, and lumber futures are almost 20% higher. On top of that, the Commerce Department recently more than doubled duties on Canadian softwood lumber imports, bringing the combined rate to over 35%. The administration is considering tariff exemptions for some materials, such as lumber and gypsum, which is mostly imported from Mexico, to ease these burdens. If approved, construction could become more affordable, but trade policy always walks a tightrope, protecting American workers on one side and keeping homes affordable on the other. This is not the first time government has intervened in housing. In 2008, reckless lending and inflated prices collapsed into a financial crisis. Federal bailouts followed. While they calmed markets in the short term, they also left long-term consequences and prevented the market from fully correcting itself. Declaring a national housing emergency today would carry a similar risk. Once government steps into such affairs, it rarely departs without leaving behind deeper entanglements. Housing affordability is not just about economics. It strikes at the very heart of liberty, because a family without secure shelter cannot easily stand independent and free. As I once declared to my countrymen, the preservation of the sacred fire of liberty and the destiny of the Republican model of government are justly considered as deeply, perhaps as finally staked, on the experiment entrusted to the hands of the American people. There is also the temptation of cheap credit. Calls for lower interest rates may sound like relief, but in practice they keep housing prices artificially high. Easy borrowing encourages debt people cannot afford, while delaying the natural adjustment that could bring homes back within reach. If the true goal is affordability, patience and restraint are better than quick fixes. In truth, many of today's housing challenges were created by policy: tariffs that raise costs, regulations that slow construction, and monetary choices that fuel speculation. Government is now attempting to offer solutions to problems of its own making, yet the burden of resolution should not rest on those causing the troubles to begin with. Each citizen has a part to play. Living within one's means, weighing carefully the dangers of debt, supporting responsible local building, and practicing thrift are all choices within our control. When I was a young surveyor, I would sleep outside in the cold for months on end. We do what we have to do to live within our means. By strengthening our own households, we strengthen the nation. Government may propose programs, but the destiny of America's homes and of liberty itself remains entrusted to the discipline and character of her people. I am George Washington with GeorgeWashingtonNews.com, reminding all that the root of freedom lies in individual responsibility. However much you care about your freedom, you should exert that much effort to support this channel, so we can continue to spread the light of liberty throughout the world. Like the video, comment with your feedback, and share it with family and friends. Farewell.